Everybody's body has an endocannabinoid system in it. Mine does, yours does, even the dog's does. And that's affected by cannabinoids. And most people know this because of CBD. And that's got cannabinoids in it. And it affects the system in a very positive way. It supports that endocannabinoid system and it helps everybody feel relaxed and decreases pain. It's well research proven. But there's some problems. The first problem is I don't want to have to walk into a marijuana shop to get something to help me relax, because that's got different connotations. The second is I can't buy it in England because it's related to the hemp plant, and therefore I can't take it in England because it's illegal. And the third thing is it's not standardized. So how do we go about that? Instead of trying to find the right CBD for you, how about if there's one that just works? Today we're talking about a product called CB5, and it's got cannabinoids in it from natural sources which are not from the hemp plant or in any way associated with marijuana. So it's legal all over the world, standardized, and I don't have to go in a marijuana shop to buy it. I can just buy it over the internet. So if you want to learn about it, I've got a short review coming in a couple of weeks. But if you want to know everything, and I think you should, there's an interview with some of the people from the company, Boomer Naturals, which I think you should want to look at. And it starts right after this brief intro. Hello, it's Paul at InstantChiro, and today we're not talking about CBD. And I'm here with Tom Zeman and Brenda Hilby, who I met today at the convention. We're actually in Las Vegas at the Paris Hotel. We're at the, what conference is it? I forgot.
This is the Parker Conference, Parker Seminar. Yeah.
We're at the Parker Seminar, and we actually met, and you actually bought one of these, didn't you?
Yes. Happily and finally.
Happily and finally.
Yes.
And we played around with it. It was lots of fun. The Arthur Sim, they sponsor this, so you should buy one because it keeps me here.
Please do.
Yeah. And you liked it, didn't you? You were on board for that.
I love the Arthur Stim. So several of the doctors that I work with use them, and I kind of looked at them a little jealously, like I would like one of those. But I have one of the other tools that is difficult to use. And
we're talking about your granddad's one, aren't we?
yeah, explains the muscles.
Yeah. She has karate chop muscles. I should point that out.
I do. They're insane. So the Paul treated me today, and I'm very short. I know I look tall next to these gentlemen, but I'm very short. So when I walk, trying to keep up with my friends is difficult. But after the treatment, I mean, my pelvis moved like it hasn't moved in a long time. I could actually stride with tall people. It was really exciting.
She actually came back and gave me some more of these, what we're going to be talking about in a second, because she could keep up with your college friend?
My neighbor. I couldn't walk fast enough to keep up with her, so now I can.
She brought me these wonderful things, which we're talking about today, which is not CBD. So this is the company CB5, which you guys are from. So tell me a little bit about who you guys are.
So the company's name is Boomer Naturals, and our main product line is CB5. And yes, CB makes everybody think CBD, but it stands for cannabinoid, because we do support the endocannabinoid system, but we do not use CBD, we do not use hemp, we do not use hemp seed, we don't even use marijuana.
Can I point out why this might have been beneficial and why I wanted to talk to them? Because I have an English accent, even though I'm in America, and I know people that use CBD, but they could not use it in England, or they could not use it in the military.
Correct, you can't in the military.
And
functional sports, can't use it.
And I know people that have to go, I'm a religious person, people in my religion have to go and check, make sure it says no THC, which is a thing that makes people go all crazy. So there's all sorts of things that can be a bit of a concern with CBD, and your product kind of gets rid of those.
Completely. It solves that problem for a lot of doctors and a lot of patients and just the average person on the street. So we are able to support ECS, or the endocannabinoid system, without the use of any cannabinoids at all. And so for me, I have a lot of military patients because I am by Nellis Air Force Base. And now those patients who have all sorts of issues, ranging from pain to PTSD, I can offer something that will support ECS, and they won't pop on a test because there's nothing to pop.
So what actually is the endocannabinoid system?
The endocannabinoid system was discovered in the 1980s, and it is a series of transmitters and receptors. And it's found in every tissue in the body, most prevalently in the central nervous system, which is, of course, the heart and soul of chiropractic, and then in the digestive tract and the muscles, the bones, everywhere.
Fantastic. And we should explain that everybody has this endocannabinoid system, and there's certain things in our modern life that make it depressed as such.
Yes. So we created our own cannabinoid called anandamide. And under stress or moments of inflammation, it's required so that the ECS can further balance and maintain homeostasis. But under that same condition, we blow through anandamide very quickly. It's not something we can create and store. So if we're always under stress, which many of us are, and we are eating inflammatory diets, maybe not us, but mostly our patients, then we have to have an opportunity to get rid of some of that without destroying the liver and without destroying the kidneys by taking over-the-counter meds.
How have you created this? How has this CB5 been created then? If it's not using hemp, if it's not using marijuana, and it's not causing those people to pop on tests, and you can buy it across the world, which is amazing to me, how is it created overall?
Yeah, it was one of the things that we wanted to do with Boomer Naturals was to create a significant difference in the marketplace. So what we did is we created a medical advisory board, and one of our doctors that's on our medical advisory board, a neurologist from Chicago, had been experimenting with formulas for probably 12 years, different formulations, and he came up with this formulation, which is using 5 proprietary ingredients, and those ingredients are FDA compliant and on the FDA GRAS list, which is generally accepted as safe for being able to consume them, via a gummy or through a tincture, that type of thing. In addition, we have the topicals as well.
Yeah, because I tried some of these. I've got some of these given to me. Because you have a few. Can we talk about those? Is that
Please.
okay? So we've got this CB5 PM gummies, and we're going to talk about the terpenes in a second. What is that designed for? I think it says it in the name, but what would you say that's designed for?
Going to sleep.
Yes. So it helps.
Night-night.
It helps you either fall asleep or stay asleep, and it depends on what your issue is. So some people will fall asleep very well, and then they're up in an hour or two. Some people lay in bed forever trying to fall asleep. So what we're finding is people who take the gummies or the tincture, which we also have a PM tincture, which is the oil under the tongue, then they can just experience a little calm. I take mine about 10 minutes before I go to bed, and it allows me to fall asleep pretty quickly. But for me, the most important thing is it allows me to stay asleep. Because I know I look like I'm 12 plus a few extra years, but going through menopause really changes my ability to sleep. And women in my age group really have a problem with staying asleep. So this has really allowed me to, once I fall asleep, I'm not waking up at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning consistently every day. So now I can make it through the night and wake up when I'm supposed to.
So I should explain, because I have people that I know that use CBD, and they have a real problem because they have to find the type that works for them.
Correct.
So is that because of the terpenes, do you think, or is that because of it's just not as standardized as what you're doing, or?
It may be that it's not as standardized, and that's one of the problems that CBD has, is that standardization is not across the board. And that's where the FDA kind of gave us their opinion on that. The terpenes that are in the CB5 PM blend are the original 5 terpenes that are in all CB5 ingredients, plus a few extra terpenes that do activate the system to allow us to sleep a little bit better. And the AM gummies, because we have those as well, have additional terpenes that allow for more focus. All the terpenes support the ECS, not just in humans, but in your dogs and cats too. And so, I don't know why I'm saying this now because we haven't even brought it up, but what the heck? I love my dogs and stuff. So we do have pet lines as well. And for sleeping, I like the PM gummies, but I have patients that prefer the tinctures. So the nice thing is we have tinctures, we have gummies, and it just depends on what you find that is better for you.
Now, I should point out that Brenda, I've known Brenda just about a day and a half.
Yes.
And I've heard about her dogs a few times already. So she does love her dogs.
I do love my dogs.
But I have heard that market is actually a very big market for that sort of product. It's like huge. It's almost as much as it is for humans.
And very similar to the chiropractic industry, the veterinarians, and in the pet industry, the veterinarians are not using CBD.
Yeah, they're not allowed.
Right, and
so our having an alternative, like we do, puts us in a very good position to be able to help them and help their pets.
And I think that's one of the reasons that I spoke to you guys originally, is because I wanted to get you on the podcast, because we have about 50% of the US-based viewers, and then 30% England and Europe, and then the rest is kind of spread out. And a lot of those places cannot have the CBD product to activate the endocannabinoid system. And so your product can actually bypass that and can actually get to those people. Yeah.
Based on our information, we are pretty sure we're the only company that has created this. And in as much as we trademarked the formulation to name it CB5, and as I think you mentioned earlier, CB stands for cannabinoid, and the 5 really means the 5 primary proprietary ingredients. So it's a formulation, and it's very, very effective.
I have seen CBD work, depending on if they get the right type for them,
right,
quite dramatically. But there's a story, we may put it in from the beginning. You begged to be employed because you had a great experience with this product. Is that right?
Yeah, so I took it because I was extremely stressed out. I had lost my mom 8 years ago. And in that time I lost several things, including my dad, my dogs, my relationship, all sorts of things kind of went haywire. And I was under so much stress I couldn't quite grasp the day very well. And my roommate, who worked for Boomer as well, was one of their writers. She's like, you have to try CB5. I'm like, no. And I just wouldn't. It didn't make any sense to me. So I finally took it, and 15 minutes later, all the stress in the world lifted off my shoulders. And I know that's not typical. I know I'm an outlier, but I think my endocannabinoid system was so depleted due to stress and inflammatory response that I had nowhere to go but up. So I think it's, for me and my patients, the experience seems to be the worse off you are, the better the results you're going to see. So when I experienced that, I got in touch with the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, met with him. We talked for a while. They offered me a position on the advisory board. And then it wasn't for another month that I had other amazing things occur. So all my back pain had gone away, and mood swings that are also so exciting during this time. You have so much to look forward to, you young ladies. Get on this now. So it stabilized me in a lot of ways, and I cannot imagine where my life would be today without it. So when I say this was life-altering for me, I don't say that as a marketing thing. I don't say that to be flippant. I am straight with you. That was absolutely life-changing for me. And so I begged to be in this position with this company so I could tell people about it.
In fact, in the pre-conversation that we had earlier, on your mirror, you've got something written on your...
Oh, on my mirror?
Yeah. Sorry, English versus American.
So I was like, what is he talking about? I don't speak English, I speak American. So on my mirror in my bathroom, I took my mom's lipstick and I wrote "Thrive with CB5," and it's in a big heart. And I said I would take a picture, but then you'd see my bathroom, so it's, just so boring other than that.
I must admit, I've been on the booth all day at the Impact booth with the Arthurs and the Vibracusser, and I wonder how much people actually understand me. I think they're just buying off me to be polite. But you guys were really busy today, weren't you?
Oh, we were very busy. We have made so many friends, I think. Yeah. We had so many people try our products yesterday and come in today, because we don't only have the oral application of the CB5, we can get CB5 into the system topically as well.
Which is, and there's one open here, because I've actually had to go with it. This one here.
There you go.
This one here. And we were talking about this earlier. It smells fantastic. Yes. And that helps also transport it across the skin barrier. Mm-hmm. And what do people use that for?
For musculoskeletal pain, I have a patient who has RSD, which is some of the most incredible nerve pain a patient can experience. And he had been on opioids for years, and it just stopped working. So he was in so much pain, he weaned himself off the opioids, and it took him a long time. I put him on this, and within minutes, he was just in tears. He's like, there's no way this should help that fast. So for him, it lasted, again, I think the worse you are, and you can't get much worse than RSD, so I think the worse you are, the better you feel. And that might be our new slogan. We might have to work on that.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to witness 3 testimonials that we videotaped, and they were Dr. B's clients, patients. Sorry, and it was at that moment watching these 3 people tell us the benefits that they've felt as a result of this that made me, as one of the founders of the company, so very proud. It was hard to not tear up because of the 3 great testimonials. And I'll never forget the young woman who had a child who was 7 years old, who has massive migraines, and the mother was called to pick him up at the school in the nurse's office, and she couldn't get there right away, so he had to lay down in the office with his jacket over his head to keep the sun away, the light out of his eyes. And when she got there, she found him that way and got him in the car. And she had earlier either visited you or had the tincture, and when she got him in the car, she gave him 1 drop under the tongue of the I don't know which one it was.
I think it was the Anytime.
The Anytime tincture, 1 drop. And she had to drive home, and I believe the drive was maybe 20 minutes. And by the time he got home, he looked at her and he said, "Mom, I have no pain." And I mean, to hear her tell that story and her a little bit about her life, it was just very emotional. But it made me so proud that we have a product that can help so many people. And it just is really something.
I think we find that a lot as chiropractors, because we record. You're a chiropractor, I'm a chiropractor. We record testimonials sometimes, or we hear our patients come in and tell us, and most of the time we don't record them for some reason. But how have you found using this product as a chiropractor? Do you use it in your clinic?
Oh yeah, every day.
Because you're hands-on, you're instrument authorship, you're everything, right?
Yes, I
and you
do
mix this in with the mix.
Yeah, so at the end of a treatment, I'll use the lotion, and they all have the roll-ons. That's just mandatory. They sort of walk out with those. I also have a big jar of the gummies, so they know they come in, they get an adjustment. We put some of the CB5 lotion on them. They have the roll-ons to take home with them, and they always grab a gummy on their way out.
I'm just checking, so you do a lotion as well that chiropractors can use, or is it a self-apply one? Or?
Yes, we have the roll-on, and we also have an instant freeze lotion. So it's got some skin softener, so it's a little easier to use. Sometimes it's hard to use a roll-on, maybe across the back of your hand or your ankle, so we have the cream that you can use as well.
Because I've always been a big fan of that. I used to use emu oil, I used to use all these different things to... You try and get the best out of the interaction, aren't you?
Right.
If there's lots of things you can stack on top of each other to help, then that usually works out the best for the patient. And what's best for the patient is what should be best for us.
Right.
And I didn't know you had that. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Because I know you work with doctors. You have this program where you can do a wholesale and all that sort of things with chiropractors. And if you're interested, go to Natural...
Boomer Naturals.
Oh my! I got that wrong about 3 times.
He's fired. So
I need a gummy to calm down.
boomernaturals.com.
Boomernaturals.com. I'll put the link below in the description, and you can go there and you can talk to one of you guys or email in, and you can have a whole wholesale prices and things like that.
Yeah, we have different ways for it to be delivered to the patient. So we do drop shipping for doctors, or doctors can carry it in their office. So we have that.
I think that was wonderful, because you do a drop shipping thing, which means you don't have to have any... I've had piles of emu oil or whatever. And
you don't have to carry any of that.
And it runs out if you're not careful. So drop shipping might work better. Sorry, I'm just thinking for me in the future. Yeah. You're just on the sidelines here.
We have manufacturing in 3 different states, so we get stuff out there pretty quickly.
So we might not keep this in, but so how big is the business? Is it?
Well, it's growing fast, growing extremely fast. So we have a number of different verticals we call our revenue sources, and chiropractic is one that is developing very fast, and why we're here. We have a number of different partnerships that we can speak about today, others in development. But one that's public knowledge is a relationship with Tommy Bahama, and a co-branding program that we're developing with them. So they vetted a lot of different companies. They felt like they really wanted to be in the wellness industry or have products that reflected wellness because of their demographic, like ours. And they wanted to provide products for that, and they chose Boomer Naturals, but they chose us as their wellness partner. And so we're in March, I believe March 5th, we'll be in 165 all of their stores. And our products will be there in a co-branded Tommy Bahama with Boomer Naturals under a packaging that's designed specifically for them.
Talking about Madison Square Gardens, and you've got a partnership with them as well?
Yes, yeah, we're an exciting partnership with them. They've chosen us as well as their wellness company, and so we'll be putting a store in. We're going to call it our flagship store in Manhattan. That's just not even a block away from the main entrance of Madison Square Garden, and will be displayed and promoted inside Madison Square Garden for every event that they have, and we'll be able to market that way. So we're excited about that, and then we're also have a very big presence and a partnership with the PGA of America magazine.
Fantastic.
And,
so things are going quite well for the company then, it's fair to say. Yeah.
Yes.
And how many years has it been a company?
Just about 2 years as a company.
To be able to get that sort of success in such a short period of time is kind of a great testament to what's going on here, isn't it?
Yeah, and I truly believe that it's because of our focus and really a pivot, towards the CB5 formulation, where there's so many different CBD players out there, and it's hard to differentiate. Plus, there's no regulation and lack of consistency in product. Where we were able to come up with these natural terpenes that are readily available. Most people know of them individually, but nobody came up with the idea of putting them together, and that entourage effect of the combination of those together is what is extremely powerful, and that is why people will talk to us, such as Tommy Bahama, because we don't have CBD. This is not CBD.
As we said at the beginning.
Not CBD.
And the onus of education is on us. So
Yes.
That's why we really appreciate being able to come on your podcast to talk about it.
Well, it's fantastic that you've got this sort of growth and all these different things happening. But I just want to know, in a chiropractic sense, so you've got lots of veterans, you've got lots of active Air Force,
Yes.
and so they come in, you do manual, you do instrument adjusting, using the arthro system, and then when you are you applying it to the area? I'm still fixated on this cream. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, if a patient comes in with neck pain, I'm going to apply the cream to the neck because it does have the menthol, it has arnica, it has boswellia. So those things are topically perfect right for where they're feeling the pain. The nice thing is the 5 terpenes that make up the CB5 are going to be more easily absorbed through the skin, and then that becomes systemic. So they're going to experience some of the results that we would even if they weren't taking a tincture. But if they take the tincture, it's a stronger milligram, and so they just have a more deeply felt experience with it.
Okay, so it's got a local effect, and it's also got a global systemic
absolutely
effect.
I really want the doctors to understand that everybody, pets included, have an endocannabinoid system. You make your own cannabinoids called anandamide, and our product includes anandamide, and we want to support and fulfill the endocannabinoid system without the legal issues, without the state boards coming down on you. And all the state boards are so far extremely happy, at least everyone we spoke with today. and hopefully we'll be at all your state board conventions. And that's what we're going to be doing, is educating the chiropractor. This is not a product that contains any cannabinoid. We simply support the endocannabinoid system through these 5 terpenes that are sourced from other plants.
Now, you brought up the activating in receptors. Now, CBD affects one receptor, is that right?
1 to 1.5. They're not all together sure, but we generally say 1.
Okay, and so how many receptors does CB5 activate?
CB5 support to 3 known receptors. There's a 4th receptor that we have not had a name given to us yet. And that's what we know of so far. The main research on the ECS is actually being performed in Israel and Germany. So we get a lot of great research from them, and they are doing a bang-up job. So it's really great, and it allows us to find out how our product can support more receptors. Because these act sort of like, if I were to say it's a neurotransmitter, it wouldn't be fully accurate, but it acts as a neurotransmitter. So it stimulates the receptor as a terpene. We find that it binds with all of them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's pretty potent.
So I heard your testimonial,
Yeah.
because you have a testimonial about this, and she also has a testimonial about the arthrostim, as you saw earlier.
That's amazing, by the way.
You know what I do on the stand, the booth? If someone says, what's the difference between this and a different one? It happens so many times today. I'm like, okay, when somebody comes up, ask them if they have one, and then ask them if they like it. And as I said that to one guy today, somebody came over and said, I have 2 of those, I like it. He didn't know, it was like the universe knew. So, but you gave us a testimonial about CB5, but you also have a testimonial, Tom, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I take it every morning. I have just a regular routine. And I take the AM tincture in the morning, and take half a tincture in the morning, and if I feel like it, I'll take one in the afternoon, the other half. But just a half a tincture is all. I've been doing that since we came up with CB5, and I don't think it's. Everybody is different, right? Everybody has a different system. So it wasn't like I noticed anything immediate, even though the morning blend is supposed to give you more focus and a little bit of energy. I'm a morning person anyway. So what I did notice, though, over time, because it's really a kind of a accumulated effect. It's a gradual effect. It takes over time, I think, the more time it just accumulates. Mm-hmm. But I noticed it. I played a lot of golf in my time. Played golf in college, played competitive golf, walked a lot. And my knees now, as I'm getting older, always hurt. And I noticed it on the golf course the very most when you're behind a putt, looking at the line, and you kneel down. And one day I just noticed I didn't have any more pain. And then the second thing I noticed was, that was the primary one, and then I noticed that walking down my stairs in my home, to do laundry, by the way, that's my job.
What a good man.
All right. I didn't notice the pain in my knees anymore. So, that's just, a simple thing, but I didn't change anything other than adding that to my daily routine. So I have to assume that was the result of taking that over time.
Things do have a cumulative effect, as we know, because chiropractic, people sometimes think, I felt kind of okay, I'm not going to come for a while, and then they come back, right?
Yeah.
You've had that.
Yeah.
You come back like,
that'd be crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Every chiropractor there's going, yes, we know.
We know that patient.
Yeah. You're going to tell them, but they're not going to listen. Yeah.
Right, till they hear it again.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we miss out on a lot in health, because in the medical community, it's not wellness care, it's not health care, it's sickness care.
Correct.
And we have a lot of sickness care, especially in America. You have a lot of sickness care.
That's all we have, it seems like some days.
Yeah, and so we're trying to put stuff in to try and correct things and get rid of symptoms, when really all we need is the natural things that are there. So we need to use all those different tools and abilities that we have to get rid of it. We need to adjust people, we need to use the arthrostim, we need to use the oils, we need to use all these things to get us to that level where we can express ourselves. We can use our natural endocannabinoid system. We don't have to have all these other chemicals to be put into us to change something that we already have there.
Yeah. Well, if you think about what we do every day that's bad for us, if you have a bank account that's got $100 in it, and every day you take a penny out because you had a Twinkie, or you wore high heels, or you got in an argument, or you had a bad day, every one of those is a withdrawal. And we think an adjustment is going to make up for all of those withdrawals. And that's just putting a penny back in. So if I'm taking out 20 cents a day, I'm never going to have a healthy account if I'm only putting a penny in every so often. So my taking away from my health, especially in America, I think is pretty consistent. Our diets are not that great in general.
I put on a lot of weight. Yeah.
We aren't exercising as much. And there's a group of you out there that are sports chiropractors and you're very healthy and your patients are all probably athletic, but that doesn't mean those patients' friends are, or those patients' parents and their other members of their family. So we have to be able to realize that for every bad thing we're doing to ourselves, inadvertently or purposefully, we really need a lot to recover from that. And the endocannabinoid system, we have found, provides a homeostasis between all the systems in the body. So if one system isn't doing well, it's the endocannabinoid system that talks to the other systems to say, hey, he's not doing so good today, let's help him out and balance him out a little. But you can't do that if your ECS is no good.
And that's a lot of what I've read in the research. It always talks about returning to homeostasis. And that's really what we want, because we function as humans anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that we kind of interrupt the machine, right?
If we leave it alone, we'd be okay.
I think that's the greatest thing about the formula is what it does for the ECS system. And it just helps restore and balance that system naturally. So our bodies have everything in it that is needed to heal us. And the ECS was explained to me once, an analogy is like a regulator, or like a thermostat perhaps in a house that is on autopilot. You set the temperature, and it'll adjust up and down. If it's too cold or too hot, it'll go up or down. And the ECS system was explained that that's what it does, because it responds to pain and anxiety and stress and all and these things. And so our formula helps restore that, or at least help it get back in balance, so then when your body's feeling those things, it all automatically goes to those places and helps take care of it better. If it's out of balance, not that I'm saying it balances it, I'm just saying that it helps restore that and helps it enhance itself.
I think that's the key, because we can take out certain things like, put in certain things like Wi-Fi signals affect us, and that affects the ECS, and various other things as stresses affect the ECS. Our body position, our joints and everything affect the ECS.
Absolutely.
But sometimes we need a bit of everything. We need taking CB5 is not going to restore my curvature of my spine.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it does restore the things that we're missing chemically that may be necessary to get to that homeostasis. Mm-hmm. And so it's a natural fit. We don't have to fear these things as chiropractors. Sometimes chiropractors think, it gets rid of pain. I don't know if I want that there, because, I want to get rid of the pain.
It's okay for your patients to get well.
Yeah, I know, right?
It really is.
Surprise, surprise. No. But it's just one of the things that we need to put in there to be able to make them a whole person. And it may be a better diet. It may be more exercise.
Yeah.
But there's certain
one
things.
Thing.
Yeah, the same thing is we can't put one thing in for the other thing. If we've got a chemical imbalance, we can't put in a mechanical imbalance to counteract. And so we need all these things as a whole to make our patients whole and us whole. So I'd like to thank you for bringing one of those things that I can actually use in a different country, which I'm banned from at the moment. I'm not banned from the country, I'm banned from... Yeah.
Wait a sec.
Yeah.
We're not on this podcast, we're out.
Yeah.
I do not know this.
It's for being a mass murderer.
So...
Yeah. It happens in hotel rooms, I don't know why. No, so I'm grateful that you've brought to market this product that I can use and people can use that doesn't trigger off these things that can cause problems in life. We want something to create happiness in life. We don't want to get spiked for thinking you've taken something that you shouldn't have done and you work in the military, or vice versa with children and things like that. So I'm very grateful that you've done that. I'm very grateful that we got together on the booth today and you had an amazing adjustment. That's fantastic.
Best adjustment.
And she bought an arthritis. You should do the same. Yeah,
Please,
I don't get
please.
commission, but I just like it. Yeah. And so Tom,
Save your bodies.
Yes, it is a lot better that, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So Tom, thank you very much.
Yes.
Brenda, thank you very much as well.
Absolutely.
Please remember, this is not CBD.
Not
Not
CBD.
CBD.
We're not talking about CBD.
No CBD here.
So thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great time. Of course, there's lots of stuff afterwards, the outtakes and things like that. Depends how much they let me leave in. Maybe not the bit about killing them, we'll see. Go to you guys, go to Natural... Got it wrong again?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Boomer Naturals.
Boomer Naturals. It's going to be one of those things you will remember because I've got it wrong so many times. Boomernaturals.com, and maybe try these out, CB5. I'm very impressed. Alright, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Not your uncle's CBD, you know?
Yeah.
Not your old uncle's, not your hippie neighbor's CBD.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty good.
Or just, this is not CBD.
Yeah.
And today we're not talking about CBD.
We are not talking about CBD.
That's it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I had 2 of those other devices he's talking about, literally going. I'm like, this is not. It's a really hard job on the body, so it's nice to. I can't wait to get really in depth with the arthrostim because I have so many patients that they just don't want the snap crackle pop. My younger ones don't care, but my little ones, some of them are like, oh, it's squishy. Yeah. One little 6-year-old boy said, "You're so fat."
What?
It was like, watch out, kid. Let me show you how fat feels. You gotta love kids, man.
Oh, they're way too honest.
Way.
Well, the show's colours are always pink and blue, you see. So you actually have
wonderful.
it by
by
accident.
by gender.
Yeah. Oh, it is as well. I usually change those over.